I'm Shavar Zara and I hope you all are fine and safe. Today our topic for discussion is computational biology. Before we move towards our today's topic, let's take a brief overview of what we have discussed in our previous lecture. So in our last lecture, we discussed in detail the levels of bioinformatics and we discussed all the three levels. Then we discussed the tools that are being used in bioinformatics, and those tools were basically BLAST, if I repeat BLAST, ClusterW, and then you have RESTmol, Swiss PDB-Viewer, and some other bioinformatic tools were that included molecular sequence alignment tools. Lastly, when we were discussing these, we discussed that what are basically the components of bioinformatics, but in that lecture we just discussed the names. So today our topic is basically the components of bioinformatics. From here we will be starting and we will discuss all these components one by one in detail. So the first component that you have in bioinformatics is technology and computing power. Technology, it is the collection of techniques, skills, methods, and processes that are applied to make life easier. Technology, it can be the knowledge of technique and processes, if I summarize it. Computing power, what is it? Computing power is basically the ability to undertake or be used for computation. Specifically, the ability of a computer to perform work, and it is often considered in terms of number of instructions that can be carried out in given time or with reference to the amount of random access memories present. So this is basically technology and computing power is that you use the technology in bioinformatics and computer that can compute all the data and all the instructions that are being given to it. So this was the first component. The second is creation of databases. Databases we have discussed in our first lecture of bioinformatics that what databases are. So creation of databases is another component of the bioinformatics, and this involves the organizing, storage and management of the biological data sets. The databases, they are accessible to the researchers to know the existing information and to submit new entries. We have discussed this thing. For example, if we take the example here, protein sequence data bank for molecular structure is an example of the database, and databases they will be of no use if they are not analyzed, because if the data is carried out, is taken, and you can say that new entries are done, but this data is not useful unless they are analyzed or they are studied thoroughly. So creation of database is your second component. The third component is development of algorithms and statistics. This involves the development of tools and resources to determine the relationship among the members of large data sets. For example, comparison of protein sequence data with the already existing protein sequences. So this is how the development of algorithms and statistics is an important component of bioinformatics. The fourth component that you have is the analysis of data and interpretation. You know that the appropriate use of components to analyze the data and interpret the results in biological meaningful manner is really important. And this analysis of data interpretation here includes DNA, RNA and protein sequences analysis, protein structure, gene expression profiles and the biochemical pathways. So in this we analyze all these structures, pathways, sequences, expression. So this is these were the four components. Then another important component of bioinformatics that you have is molecular biology. Molecular biology, it is basically the study of biology at molecular level, and this field of molecular biology, which is basically the subject, it overlaps with other areas of biology and chemistry, particularly genetics and biochemistry. Molecular biology, it chiefly concerns itself with understanding the interactions between the various systems of cell, including the interrelationship of DNA, RNA, and protein synthesis, and learning how these interactions are regulated. That we have been doing in all these lectures, and we have studied all these things. And researchers in molecular biology, they use specific techniques native to molecular biology, but increasingly combine these with techniques and ideas from genetics and biochemistry. And I have told you that this molecular biology field is linked with genetics and biochemistry. So this molecular biology is another important component of the bioinformatics. Then the next component you have is genomics. Genomics we have discussed. Genomics is an interdisciplinary field of science, and within the field of molecular biology. So a genome, is a complete set of DNA within a single cell of an organism, and as such it focuses on the structure and function, evolution and mapping of genomes. So these all things are studied, and these all processes are being studied in this genomics. Genomics aims at the collective characterization and quantification of genes, which directs the production of proteins with the assistance of enzymes and messenger molecules. Genomics also involves the sequencing and analysis of genomes. Advances in genomics have triggered a revolution in discovery-based research to understand even the most currently complex biological systems such as the brain, that. So this is all possible to study and to analyze due to the genomics. And it is another important component of this. Then you have computer science. The study computer sciences, it is another completely different field from molecular biology, genomics. Computer sciences, it is basically the study of theory, experimentation and engineering that form the basis for the design and use of computer. And it is scientific and practical approach to computation and its application, and the systematic study of the feasibility, structure, expression, mechanization of the methodological processes, or you can say the algorithm that underlie the acquisition, representation, processes, storage, communication and access to information. So these all things are basically, that better, that computer sciences, what it involves, development of the softwares, understanding the codes, running the code. So this is how this everything is done. The next field that is an important component of the bioinformatics is the computational biology. So in this computational biology, what we study is that broadly speaking, it is basically the application of computer science, statistics and mathematics to problems in biology. Means you apply all these things, all these three fields in order to solve the biological problems. And computational biology, it spans a wide range of fields within biology, including genomics or genetics, biophysics, cell biology, biochemistry and evolution. Likewise, it makes use of tools and techniques from many different quantitative fields, including algorithm design, machine learning, and you can say the frequent test, statistics and statistical physics. So these all things are being studied in computational biology. And these were basically the components of the bioinformatics. Next, we will be discussing computational biology, as it is also the major topic along with the bioinformatics. We have taken the brief overview of computational biology and the components of bioinformatics, and you have known up till now that computational biology is basically you can say the component of the bioinformatics, and you can say a kind of subfield. And they basically, these computational biology and bioinformatics, they are interlinked. So what is computational biology? It is the branch of biology involving the Firstly, computation. It is a combination of two words, computation plus biology. Computation is related to the computer, and biology, you know, so this makes up the composite that is computation and biology. So computation biology, it is a branch of biology involving the application of computers and computer science. And what this application of computer and computer science means by these things are used in order to understand and model in order to understanding and modeling of the structures and processes of life. It entails the use of computational methods, that is for example algorithms, for the representation and simulation of biological system, as well as for the interpretation of experimental data, often on a very large scale. So this is computational biology. And another way to define this computational biology is basically it involves the development and application of data analytical and theoretical methods, mathematical modeling and computational simulation techniques to study biological, ecological, behavioral and social systems. So all these systems are being studied through this computational biology. As I have said before that algorithms are being used in computational biology. So this computational biology, it involves basically development of algorithms, and these algorithms, they are used to analyze the biological data. And you know that due to large size of data, we have to pay attention to developing efficient and scalable algorithms. So this why means much importance, or you can say much attention is being given to develop algorithms that are more efficient. And if I say about bioinformatics and this computational biology, then these two fields, they go side by side and they are intertwined with each other. And often these terms, bioinformatics and this computational biology, they are often interchangeably used. Now we will see the brief history of this computational biology. So the beginning of computational biology, it essentially date to the origin of computer science. British mathematician and logician Alan Turing, often called the fathers of the computer, used early computers to implement a model of biological morphogenesis, and it is basically the development of pattern and form in living organism. And when this Alan developed this, it was done in the early 1950s, and at about the same time a computer called MANIAC this MANIAC computer, it was built at Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, and it was done for weapon research and was applied to such purposes as modeling, hypotheses and genetic codes. So this was the brief history of computational biology. So if I summarize about computational biology, that what computational biology is, so it basically involves the development and application of data and analytical and theoretical methods. Then it involves the mathematical modeling. Then it involves the computational simulation techniques. And why it is done to study biological, ecological and other systems, and in this algorithms are developed, and this field is intertwined with this bioinformatics field. Our last topic is the application of bioinformatics. So the first application that we will discuss is insect resistance. Many plants, they have been made insect resistant by incorporating the desired genes, and there is a species that is Bacillus thuringiensis, and it is a bacterial species, and what it do is that it increases the soil fertility and it protects the plant against pests. When the researcher mapped its genome, the genome of the Bacillus thuringiensis, they used its genes to incorporate into the plant. And why they did this? In order to make the plant resistant against insects. So you see that how plants are being made through gene incorporation insect resistant. For example, corn, cotton and potatoes, they have been made insect resistant so far by having the gene of bacteria in the plant genome. When insects eat the plants, what happens is that when the gene is inserted in the plant genome, so it happens that when the insect eats the plant, the bacteria enter into the bloodstream of the insect and made them starved, and as a result of this, the insect it ultimately dies. Okay. Then you have BT corn, and it is one of the species of food plants which have been modified by inserting bacterial genes in it, and it is effective against insects by developing resistance against them. The use of BT genes has also grown, and this BT genes in the plant genome, they has made the agriculturist to use insecticides very little. This is basically the basic advantage of BT genes, because they make the plants resistant against the insects, and as a result of this, the productivity and nutrition value of plants also increases, and it is beneficial for human health. So this is how the insect resistance plants are being made insect resistant. The next application is the nutrition quality. You know that when the changes are made in the genome of the plant, the nutrition value also increases. Of course, when certain trait, gene of certain trait is being inserted in the plant, so it nutrition value will also increase. You have one common example here is of golden rice, and golden rice is an important achievement in this you can say endeavor. Here the genes are inserted in the rice genome, and this is done to increase the vitamin A level in the crop. And this vitamin A is an important component for the eyes, you know it very well, and if the vitamin A deficiency occurs in body, it may result in blindness. So this in order to increase the vitamin A, genes were inserted in the rice genome, and this work has allowed the scientists to reduce the rate of blindness from the world by giving genetically modified rice to the people. So this is how nutritional quality of the food products, our food, is being increased. The next you can say the application of this bioinformatics is waste cleanup. So in bioinformatics, bacteria and microbes they are helpful in cleaning waste, and one species of bacterium is Deinococcus radiodurans, and it is point out this species has also been pointed out in the Guinness Book of World Records. And this bacteria, why it has been pointed out, because this bacterium has the ability to repair damaged DNA and small fragments from chromosome by isolating damaged segments from concentrated areas. Then this is because it has additional how it do is that because it has additional copies of its genome. Genes from other bacterium has also been inserted into this Deinococcus radiodurans for environmental cleanup, and it was used to break down organic chemicals, solvents and heavy metals in radioactive waste sites. Bioinformatic tools, how they are important? They are important for understanding of the mechanism of biodegradative pathways. Only because only you will be successful when you know that how exactly the pathways function. The next application of bioinformatics is in evolutionary studies and phylogenetics or phylogenetics. The study of evolutionary relationship among individuals or group of individuals, you know, it is termed as phylogenetics. And taxonomists, they find evolutionary relationship using various anatomical methods, and but the use of these anatomical methods it's not quite advantageous because it takes too much time. So by using bioinformatics, phylogenetic trees, they are constructed based on the sequence alignment using various methods, and various algorithmic methods they are developed for the construction of phylogenetic tree that are used for depending on the various evolutionary lineages. So this is how evolutionary studies or the phylogenetic studies, phylogenetics is being bioinformatics is being involved in this phylogenetics. Then you have climate change studies. You know that climate change is one of the major concern of the world in today's century, and This is due to the loss of sea ice, accelerated sea level rise, and longer and more intense heat waves. You know it very well. And to solve this issue, bioinformatics, what it has done is that it may help by way of sequencing microbial genome, which can reduce level of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. You know that this entire climate change is due to the presence of greenhouse gases, because the earth temperature has risen and it is continuously rising. So in only this climate change can be controlled by reducing the level of carbon dioxide in atmosphere. So this bioinformatics can be useful in this purpose, and it will stabilize the global climate change. Your next application is plant breeding and crop improvement. Plant genomics, it helps in understanding the genetic and molecular basis of all biological processes, which helps in developing new cultivars with improved quality and reduce economic and environmental cost. Nowadays, the genome program, it is an important tool for the plant improvement, and this genome program, it basically helps in identifying the key genes and their function. So what this genome project do is that it generates data which includes sequence information, markers, etc., and these data are then distributed to the multinational research community and the in bioinformatic tools. What they do is that they help in the submission of all data through Entra's global query cross data search system. We have discussed this in our first lecture of bioinformatics, to the public domain, and this help in retrieving sequence from the NCBI. Genome sequences of several important plant species has enabled researchers to identify chromosome and difference factors in sequences. So this is how this bioinformatics has helped in plant breeding and crop improvement. Your next application is development of stress tolerant varieties. Stress tolerant varieties, they can be developed by identifying the stress tolerance genes and alleles, and various tools they have been developed to study the physiology, expression profiling, and comparative genomics. Then there is a KEGG or KEGG is a KEGG base. It contains basically all the metabolic pathways, like the pathways for the carbohydrate production, genes in the ABA production pathway. You know that this ABA is basically the abscisic acid, and so the genes that are involved in the ABS production pathway, they are important for the development of drought resistant varieties. And this KEGG databases, they can be important to identify the pathway for carbohydrate production and ABA production, and after the pathway are studied for the development, after the identification of the pathway and the genes are being done in the same pathway, they are studied. Okay, so this is how it is done, and now the progress has been made in developing cereal varieties that have a greater tolerance for soil alkalinity, free aluminum and iron toxicities. And these so why we are developing this, the question arises that why we are developing all these stress tolerant varieties. So what will happen, that these varieties will allow agriculture to succeed in poorer soil areas, and thus they will add you can say that more land to the global production base. So this is how this development of stress tolerant varieties is beneficial at the larger level. The next application is gene therapy. Gene therapy is a new method of drug delivery that detail list of synthetic machinery of the patient cells create a therapeutic agent, and it contains the efficient introduction of functional genes into the suitable cells of the patient. And why this is done, in order to create sufficient amount of protein encoded by transfer gene so as to exactly and permanently correct the disorder. Strategies of gene therapy, they are classified into 3 categories, and these categories are gene addition, removal of harmful gene by antisense nucleotide or ribosomes, and control of gene expression. The next application is alternative energy. With the help of bioinformatics, scientists they are studying the genome of the microbe, that is Chlorobium tipidum, and this Chlorobium tipidum microbe, it has an unusual capacity for generating energy from light. So this is another application where bioinformatics is being involved. Another is the personal development of the personal medicine. So personalized medicine is developing practice of medicine that uses particular genetic profile to advise decision made in favor to the prevention, diagnosis, treatment of the disease, information about the patient genetic profile. Okay, so information about the patient genetic profile, it can help doctors to provide proper medication, and this is done by using the proper dose, and this is applied for the treatment as personalized cancer medicine, diabetes related disease, and HIV. Then there is translational bioinformatics. Translation bioinformatics is a field that can help address these challenges, and this translation is defined by the American Medical Informatics Association as the development of storage, analytic, and interpretive methods to optimize the transformation of increasing voluminous biomedical data into proactive, predictive, preventative, and participatory health. So this is what translational bioinformatics is. Then another application is production of preventive medicine. Preventive medicine is practiced by all physicians to possess their patients healthy, and you can say, or to make their patients healthy, and it is also unique medical subject that is affiliated by the American Board of Medical Specialties, ABMS. This preventive medicine, what it do is that it attentions on the health of individual communities and defined population. It is also helpful for the treatment of for obesity, blindness. So this is how preventive medicine is useful. Then you have predictive medicine. Predictive medicine is an area of medicine that involve expecting the probability of disease and instituting preventive processes in order to either prevent the disease completely or considerably decrease its influence upon the patient. And the techniques and assays include in this predictive medicine is uses of primitive medicine is newborn screening, number 1, number 2 is diagnostic testing, and number 3 is medical bioinformatics. Other than this, other techniques like prenatal testing is also being carried out. Other applications of this bioinformatics is the development of molecular medicine, and then its application is also in drug development, antibiotic resistance. And in antibiotic resistance, scientists basically they are, you can say, they're examining the genome of Enterococcus faecalis, and it is basically a leading cause of bacterial infection among hospital patients. So these scientists have discovered a virulence region that is made up of number of antibiotic resistant genes, and this may contribute to the bacterium transformation from a harmless gut bacteria to the menacing invir. So this is how this bioinformatics is involved. You can see multiple, it has multiple applications. So these were all the applications of the bioinformatics, and this was for today's lecture, and I hope that what we have discussed up till now you have understood. And if you want to study in detail all these things, then you can visit this site. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.